Hi, I'm Crystal.
I'm Rob.
I'm Dave.
Justin.
And we're coming to you from beautiful Purcellville, Virginia, from the Ashes of My Sin Central, our rehearsal space where we make a lot of the magic happen that you're about to be exposed to for the first time on Kickstarter.com. I guess the genesis of this project was a number of years ago. Crystal was tracked down by some very shady and kind of smarmy dude who wanted to produce a record. Who happened to know me as a studio musician and called me, and we met and we worked for about 2 weeks in the studio together on a 4-song demo or something like that was just atrocious. Would that be an appropriate word for
Yeah, awful.
Yeah,
awful.
horrible experience all around, and needless to say, those demos have been burned thousands of times over. And we've worked on some various other projects in the interim time, and we were doing a session for hire where I was playing drums and Crystal was singing in that session, and this big beast of a man walks in with a bass guitar and plugs in and starts playing, and there was just a great connection there musically.
Immediately, yeah.
And we could both sense that there was a mutual joy of all that is evil in the world between the both of us. It sort of became a trio at that point, but really had no great guitar leadership. And Rob, you guys knew each other through work, right?
Through work, yeah.
Through work.
We work together.
So Rob sucked Justin into that, and we've agreed to let him live as long as he continues playing guitar in the project, which is why he drinks.
No, I branch out. I go over to other instruments occasionally, again, as you'll probably hear.
But one thing that kind of I just thought was just badass is the first time he came over. I mean, how many measures did he have to play before like he gets it? Yeah, absolutely. This is just so weird.
He was in the band. He walked in the room and he pulled out a black Gibson Explorer, and at that point I said he's in.
I've subsequently sold that guitar, by the way. So.
But like I had an idea of what you could do on a guitar. Just we work together in a music environment. So
it's okay. It's okay.
But we're both recovered since then. But
it's a lot different when you're trying to demo a Squire Stratocaster to a 12-year-old in front of their dad than it is. It was not a low-pressure environment walking into this, I gotta say. Like these two had been together, and then Rob had a little bit of jump time on me.
A couple months, probably.
Yeah, I came in and it was just like, oh my god, there's 3 people. It felt like an audition for probably all of 5 minutes, and then it was just...
It was an audition for a lot less time than that.
Yeah.
All this comes from very different styles. My personal growth has been through, heavy metal, bluegrass, punk, all kinds of, kind of all over the place. It makes a very eclectic style, as I'm sure you'll hear through some of the sound samples. And each of us are from different backgrounds, but all those backgrounds work well together to make something that's you've probably not heard before.
But that is what's so interesting, is the fact that there's a ton of influence, that you've got a traditional pop and even at points sort of country feel and diva element to what you write and what you sing, all the way through very traditional epic metal and thrash and things more along what you'd expect out of a metal band. I'm a prog head. I mean, give me Rush, give me Dream Theater, give me anything that's really musically complex, has a lot of time changes. That's where I'm most satisfied as a player.
It just has to be complex for Dave. It doesn't have to be musical.
Yeah, and it's my job to dumb it down and take it all back to 4/4 time.
Exactly. This great riff in 19 that somehow is in 4 on the record. I never understand how that works, but it always does.
And that was one of the coolest things for me about this band is, coming and writing these songs and in the production of them, Yeah, one thing that stands out to me, these songs are very compositionally driven. And typically, we get together and start a song with a guitar riff or something. But when you hear that the songs that Crystal has written, there's a lot of depth there, and I think these sound great as rock songs. But the funny thing is too, they would sound great as country songs. They'd sound great as pop songs, and it's one of the situations where we hear these songs and play these songs a million times, and still driving home, I have it stuck in my head. So it's just been a real pleasure to be involved with this project.
I think Executioner and Little Boy are two very good examples of where things wound up recorded significantly different than they were at the get-go, because contributions from everybody.
The single coolest thing to me is how all this kind of came together, and it made what became the Sanctuary project that we're kickstarting now. Putting all of that together, and it took influences obviously with you and your songwriting, and my very, very minimal amount of pushing you to no, do it this way, and then Rob and Justin, and then the kind of reworks that came from that to become the story that is Sanctuary.
It's not shoved down your throat in a rock opera sort of way.
Right.
But we'll leave it to you to make your own connections, to connect the dots between different songs. And speaking of that, I mean, is this personal experiences from you, from friends, from loved ones?
Some
or
of them.
Imagination?
Probably about half of them are from personal experiences. The other half are just from randomness.
Right on.
Didn't you once write a song after seeing the Orphanarium episode of Futurama?
I did.
Wasn't that abandonment?
Yes, it was.
It didn't make it onto this record.
Did not, thankfully.
No, that was one of the Nightmarish first songs that we ever worked on together.
Yeah.
One of the very common comments and about our music is, when I ask people, like, what does it sound like? I mean, how would you describe it? No one has been able to date, and maybe you might have some opinions on this, to really kind of identify any other band out there that this really sounds like. I think you'll hear elements of a lot of different things. I mean, Justin from a metal background, Dave from prog, I'm an old punk rocker, and Crystal is just, we're melding her into something quite evil for the world. But it's really kind of cool that no one can say what we sound like. So I really can't describe this for you. You're just gonna have to listen for yourself and hopefully enjoy it.
Yeah, it would be cool to get to Europe, though. I mean, I think our style is probably compatible on the European scene a little bit more. I mean, we've done some work with some of the more popular European heavy metal bands, and when we worked with L80 and Epica. And where the hell are they from?
Epica is
Danish.
Danish?
Yeah, well,
You're
Dutch.
Dutch.
Okay.
Dutch, yeah. So Europe, yeah.
Sorry, Simone, we don't actually know where you're from, but we're just going to talk about you in this video anyway.
We're big fans. We're just dumb.
But I had the pleasure of opening for both of them. Ailstorm, we played with Living Colour, we played with Molly Hatchet.
So, Dave, do you care to tell people what we can offer them for their pledges?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of different pledge levels. Let me put on my best PBS pledge week voice. For a $20 pledge, you'll get a pre-release copy of From the Ashes of My Sins' first album, Sanctuary. Oh yeah, there are more pledge levels. At a $30 pledge, we'll even sign it for you, because that's worth something. That wasn't convincing, was it?
No, it's good. Maybe without the thumbs.
Needs a little work.
All right. At the $40 pledge level, we've got a limited edition version of Sanctuary that we're custom making entirely for those who do this Kickstarter campaign with us. It's coming out. We're numbering each one of them. We're signing each one of them. We'll give them to you at our CD release show when you come and pick up that disc. And those are produced entirely for people who order through the Kickstarter campaign that we're doing. That's $40. It's also available at $50. We'll also throw in a From the Ashes of My Sins t-shirt that has the spectacular From the Ashes of My Sins blood logo, minus my drum manufacturing company, which I adore. And I think we've got a $150 level, which includes an invite to the listening party. When we actually do debut this record, we're going to do a big listening party, and it'll be catered, and it'll have a bar and things like that, and throwing a bit of a party for everybody who gives at the $150 level. You can come to that, and we'll cover that because we like you guys very, very much and are very grateful. And
Tickets to the
tickets to the actual CD release show, which we play, which will headline. Got a couple of different bands in the area who we've talked to who are very, very cool and want to jump on that show with us already. I don't want to drop names because I would hate to tell you who they would be and then they fall through because we haven't actually booked the show yet. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun, and thank you for your help and support. And
you'd also still get the t-shirt and the CD, of course.
But wait, there's more. We didn't talk about any of this earlier, but you got Signature Series drumsticks, right?
I do have Signature Series drumsticks.
That seems to be one of our most requested items at shows. So maybe at the 150 level.
You can even get a set of Dave Clark Signature drumsticks.
But wait, there's more. I guess Google Plus and Blog TV, there's a bunch of ways to do live webcasts. So I guess from anything $50 and up, let's say, there'll be an invite to, private, I guess, unplugged session, acoustic versions of some of the stuff we do, and then maybe a Q&A. Does that work?
That absolutely works.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a great combination of stuff.
It's the least we could do. We certainly are grateful, sincerely, for any help that you can give us with getting this record out.
Yeah, at the $1,000 pledge level, you get a night with Rob. Yeah, but our Kickstarter goal is $3,400. Very attainable number. We put a sizable amount of money and a sizable amount of time into this record between recording, production staff, and everything that's gone into this. Up to this point, the $3,400 is merely our reproduction and the advertising campaign that goes into putting this record physically out there. It's a great quality product. We hope you've enjoyed some of the previews that you've heard during the course of this video, and we hope we haven't horrified you so much that you'll never ever buy any of our products. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video on this Kickstarter campaign. Again, I'm Dave.
I'm Justin.
Rob.
And Crystal.
And this is Wayne's World.
Wayne's World!
And my name isn't just a name, it's also an action verb.
We can't end any better way than that. You just stole the ending of the video.